That I would like to announce that My Albania will be accepted as EPSA Associate Member as soon as you amend your regulations accordingly to the wishes of the General Assembly. Thank you. I have a comment from Chert.
President, so just to maybe stress again that this is just like a small technicality that as you heard already, we have been a bit bothered with, the General Assembly has been a bit bothered with, but I would like to here recognize that we saw what an engaged association you are from your presentation, and yeah, you have a lot of activities, and with that technicality out of the way, now you have a free road to EPSA.
I want to say thank you very much for the support and wish that to fulfill the future and to contribute better. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Right, so with that, we will now proceed with the EPSA team reports, and for that I will pass the facilitation to Anda. Yes. Yeah, hello. The first report that we will take is the Vice President of Education. So Eva, please present your update.
Eva, Vice President of Education. Eva, Vice President of Education. The updates to my report are that I made some videos and posters for the methodology booklet survey promotion and some additional posters for the annual congress for the attendance requirements and the educational outcomes competition. Then we released the Wings for Life promotion. I continued working on the annual congress and was in contact with the speakers, and now I chaired the symposium and wrote the symposium outcomes every day. I had meetings with the reception committees for the Summer University, Autumn Assembly and Annual Congress. We had the 10th Educational Department meeting. We had the Next Generation chat. I proofread the ESSP that is now available here. I had a meeting with Topra about the webinar that will be organized a couple of days after this event. I performed the Eventbrite training for the helping team and the reception committee. I wrote the pre-annual Congress press release, and I started releasing some invitations for the 15th Autumn Assembly, but no one is confirmed yet.
Yes, thank you, Eva. Do you have any comments or questions? KPSV?
Seren, KPSV Netherlands. Eva, you did a really good job, and I especially want to thank you for sending me an email and registering me for the bus to go to the sightseeing, blah, blah, blah. But I was just wondering if, well, since you had to do it by hand for me, and I got an email, and then I needed to respond to that, did you have to do that a lot for a lot of participants? But I can imagine that it is, well, annoying, because everybody is old and wise enough to apply for the educational program. Thank you.
Eva?
Eva, Vice President of Education. Yes, I had to do it for a lot of participants. I did not count, but I had to send a lot of that kind of emails. It took a lot of time, but there's no other way than doing it by hand on my computer. If I do not do it before the event, I would have to do all of that during the event, which I don't think it would be possible. Yeah, I think this will improve with time. It's the third time we did it, so participants are still a bit confused about it, but once the word spreads that Eventbrite is being used and the rules connected to it, I think it will improve. But yeah, right now all we can do is keep improving the video we release and the instructions we give, and yeah, hopefully in the next few events this will become more traditional and the students will prepare better in advance to avoid those mistakes.
Any more questions? Ubi? No, I'm sorry.
Marcelino, IFFL Portugal. Thank you for your well done report. We want to congratulate you for the work that you have been done in creating the educational programs in the EPSA events, and your organization, which has reflected not only on your excellent work, as well on your entire team.
KMPSV has a new point.
Janine, KMP Sweden Netherlands. I was wondering if the search for the speakers for the annual reception starts after the annual congress starts after the AA. Is this going to keep this way, or is the planning to start the search earlier? What's going on?
Eva?
Eva, Vice President of Education. So this is done on a case-by-case basis for each event. Generally, it depends on when the topic is selected. We try to do it at least 1 year in advance, so we have more time. But yeah, before each event, the Vice President of Education focuses on that event, and then if you have time, you start inviting for the next AA or the next AC, which I completely recommend. That's why I also already started releasing AA invitations, and the AA symposium draft is done. Because it's not enough time for the 6 months between the events to organize everything. But yeah, it's hard to do for more than 2 events at once, also because of our mandates. Because at AA it will be my successor who's actually responsible, but we agreed in the educational department that that's the way we will proceed in the future, so that the current educational department starts and the next just continues, so it's not just on the next educational department for AAs.
Direct by KMPSV.
Yeah, good job.
And we have a new point by SSFD.
Katja, SSFD Slovenia. I'd like to congratulate you on the launch of the EPSA educational calendar, and just ask you if you're satisfied with the submissions to the calendar so far, or do you think the LSs should promote it more? Thank you.
Eva?
Eva, Vice President of Education. So the calendar does not have the reach yet that we would like it to have, but it's to be expected because it's been launched only a couple of months ago. So yes, we would very much like for you to keep promoting it and keep the students informed. So far the LSs are submitting their events, also because Nate is helping poke you guys over email, but we would eventually like for all students to submit events, not just LSs, and yeah, but this is a future goal. So for now, we are happy, but we would like to see the project grow further.
Any more questions or comments? Bernardo?
Hey, Bernardo, EPSA team. I think I can speak from your very, very busy departments when I say that we are really proud of you and you did an amazing job, and I can't wait to work with you for next mandate.
Any more comments? Questions? If not, Chart?
President, we're still trying to, yes. Is this good, right? Because it's easier this way for everyone, I think. So I would just like to provide some short words of feedback also to Eva from the executive side. Eva has been of immense help this year, taking over the Secretary General position when it was needed, and then handing it over to Leo, doing all the educational programs, everything on time, speakers well in advance. Also, we will choose probably the topic for the AC19 already now, so that was also done in advance. So, congratulations on your organizing skills, time management skills, they are amazing. Thank you.
Ok, continue with the next report, which is the training coordinator report. Bernardo, please come and present your update. Yeah, Chris, can you please open the presentation? Awesome.
Okay. So what I've brought you was some information on the EPSA training project, so that you also know a bit on where we stand right now. And yeah, can you move to the next slide? So unfortunately, advocacy wasn't really very developed during this mandate. I will say that for next mandates, either me or if I'm not elected, someone else will for sure take care of advocacy, because I will pressure them to do so. Next one. So these are the numbers that we have now. So we have more EPSA active trainers. We have more trainers that answered the annual check. And what I would like to express here is that the 786 hours, so we had around 400 hours than last year, which is amazing. And I want to say that for the 13th TNT, we are still waiting for a host. I have contacted the UK, I have contacted Germany and Spain. Germany unfortunately isn't available for this time. Both UK and Spain we have been in contact, and we are seeing if we can do it. Yeah, next one. So yeah, more information on the trainers. Here are the number of the trainers that we have now. We in this Congress have around 25 trainers that are delivering 20 sessions. We have been managing we have been in the training room, so if any of you wants to go there and check us, we will be working for sure. And yeah, this is basically it for now. Next. Yeah, I've been opening some calls. Now, prior to the event, these calls haven't been those many because yeah, we are all occupied and we don't have time to organize it. However, I would like to express that it's really good for you to also contact us whenever you need trainings in your faculty. We will do our best to bring them to you. And yeah, this is the part of the trainers board. You can pass to the next one. So in regards to the trainers board, we had one meeting during this period. We discussed mainly the feedback for the TTT and the TOT that we got both from participants, hosts, and trainers. But I will talk about it in the next slides. Yeah. So as for the training mentoring, I have discussed with Haluka that we should focus and we should go after our trainers to see if this contact has been he's being taken care of. And for now, we have had good feedback. Yeah. As for the training week, the thing that we tried to implement was the chat with the trainers. We only got 3 participants, unfortunately. However, I think that by giving more information to participants and by focusing more on advertising this, we can get a lot more, because in the career fair here, we got a lot of participants interested in knowing more about the EPSA training project. And I thank you for the testimonials that you shared with us. And yeah, that's good feedback for you. To be honest, I wasn't expecting for so many testimonials. However, it was amazing how we managed to get so many videos for this week. And yeah, next one. As for the trainers on tour, we already collected the feedback. We were just missing a feedback from one of the hosts. However, in the next couple of days, me and Stefan will be organizing the feedback so that we have a more summarized and practical way for you to read them if you want to, and for the future training coordinator to also take it into consideration when organizing the next TOT. I know that some of you didn't manage to or weren't selected to host the TOT for this year. However, don't worry, because we have you in mind, and once we have the ability and the time to organize another TOT, we will for sure contact you once again. And by the way, in the YNGO training network, we are also working on we call it TT, so Trainers Tour, which would be similar to our Trainers on Tour, however with more associations working together. So yeah, I will also send you an email with more information about this to check for your availability to host this event as well. And yeah, more details will come for sure. Next one. Yeah, so as I was saying, this AC, we have 20 trainings and 23 trainers. Unfortunately, a lot of trainers had to cancel due to personal reasons. However, we still managed to deliver the trainings that we were supposed to. And yeah, the NGT was also occurring the previous week, and we got 7 participants, which is a lot better than last year because we had 0 participants and 0 NGT. So this is an improvement. Yeah, I hope to have a lot more for next year, and I want you to know that this is not just for people who want to run for the EPSA team, okay? This is an event that focuses on people who run for the EPSA team. However, we do deliver a lot of soft skills that are useful for everyone. So whoever is attending the Congress should also be informed about the NGT, and this is also one thing that I want to focus on, which is the promotion of the NGT itself, to make sure that everyone knows what it is. Next slide. Yeah, the Training New Trainers event is as I commented before, we are still in contact to see if we get the hosts. And just one more thing, since our summer university will be in the last week of July, we will also think about, and at this time it will be more beneficial to have this event around August. Next one. Yeah, as for the TGT, we got an excellent feedback. One idea that we got from there was to try and find some place for the trainers to discuss internal matters related to the EPSA training project, and for that we also have the Hangouts, and we are focusing a lot on having meetings during the congresses. We already had one dinner. We will have another one where we'll be collecting feedback from them, and we will be collecting their opinions. And next?
No, next.
Yeah, it's done. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about is the YNGO training network. So this is a collaboration that we are doing with a lot more YNGOs that puts us into closer contact with their training projects and with their training coordinators. The main discussions that we've had were about the agreement of common understanding that has been accepted, and now we are focusing on that trainers tour that I talked to you about. We also are seeing if it's possible to have sort of a trainers board to manage this training network as well. So probably next mandate we might send some trainers to also manage the events that we are planning to do as a whole organization. And this is it for the updates that I have for now. Before the Congress, it was mainly focusing on the Congress and its organization, and also the NGT, if you have any questions.
Nopsa?
Nopsa, Norway. I was wondering, when you had like the 15 countries, is like countries that includes all the EPSA trainers?
Okay, so the number of countries that I have there are the ones who answered the annual check. Okay. So we do have 76 supposed active trainers. However, since only 36 of them answered to my emails, I can only count on them.
Yeah.
IFFL. Yeah. Thank you. Margarida, IFFL Portugal. Bernardo, we just want to thank you for your constant availability and your support in our activities, and also we want to congratulate you for the organization, an excellent work actually, of the main training events in such a short period of time. Any more comments or questions? Nopsa?
Nopsa, Norway. This is like my 3rd year as a trainer, and during this last mandate, I think has been like the one that we've had most like open calls and opportunities with other association. So that just says so much about your work and your collaboration with others, and I really want to thank you for that. And you've always been like available and supporting, answering our emails. So thank you so much. Yes.
Any other comments or questions? If not, Eva?
One thing thing that I forgot to tell you, the graphic recording is back there. Please do check it out. It would be awesome to receive some feedback, and you would also learn something from there, since it's also sort of some outcomes from the symposium.
Now, Emma.
Eva, Vice President of Education. So, as you all already noticed and commented on, there have been a lot of activities going on this mandate. Through the trainings, Bernardo is expanding the network. The trainers are now not only going to your events, they are going to external events as well. You will have 2 TNTs this year, hopefully. Yeah, everything is growing, and I'm really, really happy that you decided to apply for the position again, and I cannot wait what will happen next year if you get elected.
There are no other comments. I suggest we can clap for Bernardo. Okay. With this, we finish the reports for the educational department, and we will proceed with the next point, which is the administrative department reports. First, the president, Chert.
President, thank you. So, since I submitted a report, we're working on G document, so 55th General Assembly agenda, and the 5th team meeting report. I also started to work on handover. So, with Pereira, we have already reset a lot of handover accounts, which will be done after, which will be done also during the Congress, finalized. I also updated the handover documents that we use for handover. I showed them with the team at the team meeting, and we discussed them, so yeah, that was nice. And yeah, just catching up with email, working at the AHP, the European Association of Hospital Pharmacy, where I have my internship, so I've been quite busy with that. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
IFFO. Can the scrutineer give a microphone to IFFO? Yup. Sorry.
First of all, I also want to congratulate you on your work. Regarding the KPIs, we also believe it is actually a very useful tool, but we would also like to suggest the development of an alternative mechanism of feedback, an evaluation survey for EPSA Association members, so they can also give you feedback on their view over your progress and also over the association in general. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Not. Okay. Leo? Soares?
Can you hear me? Okay. Leonor, EPSA Vice President of Internal Affairs. So, Chert, you had been a really good leader for us. You were always super supportive when you needed, when we needed, and you also always encourage ourselves to do our best, but also to acknowledge when we couldn't and to know how to ask for help. And that's something that I find very, very, very important. You were also, even though you have a position in executive that should be close to members, you are always super close to members and super close to everyone, and I think that is a characteristic that made you a really nice president and a president for everyone.
Okay, next we have the Secretary General report. Pereira, updates, please.
Leader Secretary General. So after delivering my report, I wrote the 14 minutes, and I also continued releasing the OEM minutes. I released the members' USB stick survey and also analyzed the results. I've been collecting and I prepared the GA package, and I've been updating it whenever needed. I released the online LS meeting minutes, managed the scrutineers and meeting secretaries for the 55th General Assembly, and I also minuted the 15 meeting minutes. About the USB sticks project, I have some updates for you. After analyzing the survey results that I shared with you and collecting all your answers, I have made some conclusions about the project. I separated it into 3 different USB sticks, as I did in the survey: the LS, So, because they also have access to the documents within the EPSA library, so I've decided to stop using the USB sticks for the LSs. The same response I got from NIPS. They have been receiving all the documents they need for their positions through the central IP coordinator. So I also decided to drop the use of those USB sticks. Regarding the official delegates, they do believe the content is useful and that they can help them prepare be better prepared for the General Assembly, because then they have access to some documents before the General Assembly package is released. So I have decided that it would be beneficial to continue with the survival kit for ODs, but change it into what we have now that Katja also shared with you before the General Assembly, the OD survival kit. In conclusion, you are welcome to keep the USB sticks that you have received, and they will no longer be used. Any questions?
Comments or questions? Snaps?
Maria, Snaps, Sweden. So I just have one question for Leo and more general for the team maybe, because I was thinking about the USB sticks and using Google Drive in accordance with the new law on personal information, GDPR, which will start the 25th of May. So I was wondering if you have discussed this in the team.
Jeff?
Yep. Yeah, thanks. I will answer this because I was taking charge of that discussion. So we started discussing this in February, and we still didn't finish it. But the USB sticks will not contain any kind of this information, and also none of the EPSA storage will. So we are now still finding out exactly what documents we have and which documents we need to delete. But we will have the final draft of the strategy right after this AC, because the directive comes in place in the end of May, like the regulation, comes in place in the end of May. So by the middle of May, we will have everything sorted out regarding GDPR. So we have been discussing it for the past months. We can also share it with you guys because everyone will be affected. So if you have any issues with GDPR, please feel free to contact us, and we will try to assist you as best as we can. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on the report? No? Then, Annette?
Sid Anne France, like I just really want to thank Theo because she is here just like 4 months ago, and like she did a lot of things like we didn't expect, all these kind of things, and that like we are very happy like having Leo with us in the EPSA team. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no more comments or questions, Chert?
Yep. Chert President, we are also very happy to have you, Leo. She has integrated the executive almost seamlessly. It's as if she was with us since the beginning. It was a really nice thing to do, and also I think we're all happy that you got sucked into the company that easily. Also very nice that you delivered the minutes on time. I'm really happy about that. It's quite an achievement to deliver 40 minutes in 1 month. But yeah, she made it. Also, I'm quite convinced that you'll make the GA as well. But thank you for everything this Monday. You have been amazing.
Okay, we will continue now with the Treasurer's report. Diedrich.
Diedrich, EPSA Treasurer. Since the running of my report, I have been in contact with the external accountant regarding our finances. His feedback was that he would not charge any money because he did not have anything to contribute, so that's positive, I think. For the rest, there have been 2 credit card receipts that we did not receive. However, there was money spent, and now I could not find what they were, so I'm in contact with the bank regarding these. One has been found right now, and I'm still looking for one, so this is to be continued. And I have been dealing with membership fees. That are the updates on my report.
Any comments or questions? CPSA?
Marin, CPSA, just a short one. Maybe it would be better to ask Job, but you mentioned in your report that for the grant, you applied for a framework grant which requires 3-year collaboration with the agency. What kind of collaboration that is?
Diederik, Treasurer. The last few years we applied for an annual working operation grant. That is just a partnership with the EACEA, the agency, for 1 year. However, if you had a successful application twice in a row, you can go for a framework grant, and then you have a partnership with the agency of 3 years, which means the grant application you can deliver a simplified version of that, and I believe you are sure of that you are granted the grant for 3 years in a row, and after 3 years you will be re-evaluated.
Any other comments or questions? Annette?
Sid Anne France. First, thank you very much. Diederik. I just have one question. Like you mentioned in the financial situation, that EPSA has had a period where it was low on cash, like due to have a lot of debtors. Like regarding all the debtors we have, like I saw that we have some. We have some debtors who are, for example, here in the GA, or yes, like in all the association and also in France. What would you do, like to oblige this person to pay the debt? Thank you.
Diederik, Treasurer. I believe there's an agenda point for creditors, debtors, so we will discuss it there. And one of the main things, I think you're aiming at the IMP fees, for example. There is a few IMP fees from a few years ago that have not yet been paid. For example, I have sent reminders of that around the AA. However, these were sent to the national IMP coordinators, and I think sometimes the communication between the NIMS and the treasurer of the association there is not always super good, because the payment has not been made yet. And some LSs have come up to me saying, please send a reminder to me and not the NIM, because then it does go to the treasurer. So I will do that after AC.
NIP, direct.
Sid Anne France, yes, it was like about IMP and also about the auction night. We have a lot of auctions here, and like there's a lot of people who are here in this room and they are not paying actually. Thank you.
Diederik?
Yeah, I can just, I sent reminders on email about that, but sometimes that still doesn't work. Let's discuss this under the point of debtors, okay?
Any other questions? Or comment? KMPSV?
Janine, KMPSV in the Netherlands. I really liked your explanation on the OD meeting before the GA. I think it was really useful that the ODs could see the financial documents before the GA, and that your explanation made it all clear to everyone. So thank you for that.
Any other comments or questions? If not, Chart.
Thank you, Chair, President. Diederik, you did an amazing job this mandate as well. All our finances are completely sorted out. We contacted an external accountant who said that there is nothing that he can do about them. I think that's proof enough to see that Diederik has done an amazing job this year with our finances, sorting everything out, and it's really, really sorted out. So I would just like to thank you for all the effort you have invested into this mandate from the depths of my heart. Thank you.
Okay, next we should have
the report of the Vice President of European Affairs, but Toro is delivering a workshop now, so we'll leave that for the next session. So we'll continue now with the Grant Coordinator report. Yep.
Well, updates. Yeah, updates on my report. Like I said, in my report we still didn't have a final result on the application we did last December, so we're still waiting for that. I mailed our contact person at the European Union and she said it's delayed, but she didn't know when it would come in, so we're still waiting for that. And I think that's it for my updates.
Any comments or questions for Job's report? Yeah, okay. Annette?
Marion, Annette France. So thank you, Job, for your report. I have a question because in the other things, 2.2 other things, you wrote that you plan to look for other grant opportunities. Can you explain more about that?
Yes. I'm in contact with Ariana. She is doing a project. It's again called humanitarian. Yeah, European Solidarity Corps, and the European Union also has grants for that. So I was looking into that if we can apply for that.
Any other comments or questions? Chair, technical?
Well, yeah, Chair, President, yeah, I will just say this because I will be announcing if an executive person leaves the table, so you are aware of why. So Leonore is just leaving to meet with someone online for a brief time, and then she will be right back. So it's an excuse. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. If there are no more comments or questions, Diederik?
Diederik, Treasurer. Lekker gewerkt, man. I think you did a great job. In my opinion, we made an awesome application that was better than last year, so I see no reason why we wouldn't receive that. However, we have been told that everything would be a bit slower at the European Commission. Well, yeah, that sometimes happens there in Brussels, apparently. Also, with the changing of the layers, I was trying to do that last year. You picked it up, and you are doing, yeah, just where I just couldn't do it. You, I think, will succeed eventually. We found out that we are finding out that communication is very hard, but you're doing a very good job with finding out who to contact and contacting the right person at that insanely weird organization there in Brussels. So if you keep it up, I think it's going to be a great mandate.
Okay, we will now continue with the reports of the Internal Affairs Department. Yeah, Leo is a bit out. So we will take first the Events Coordinator report. Nate?
Hello everyone, I'm Nate, Events Coordinator for EPSA. So my updates since I submitted my reports are following. Sorry for the cough. Right after the submission, I also finalized the report regarding the visit, which was shared with you. Then I was working on Events Handbook. It's updated some annexes, added new ones, which you were already presented with in the OD meeting. I already did the survey for this event, so survey is waiting to be released like a week after the AC. So this is prepared, so you will be able to provide us with the feedback. And yeah, that was mostly it. Just keeping up with my email been in contact with organizations who are applying to host events now, and with my current RCs. So.
Thank you, Nate. Comments or questions? CPSA?
Marin, CPSA Croatia. We were in contact for the last few months because of the bidding of Croatia. Thank you very much. You were very, very responsive. I really respect that. And I just want to ask you, in your report you mentioned that with the chairpersons of previous RCs, you were talking about a maximum fee, like changing of maximum Congress fee. Have you concluded something? Are you going in some direction? Do you know?
Nate?
It was investigated as according to TORSA, and we came to the conclusion that the maximum fees should stay the same right now, and we will not consider changing them at this moment.
We have a new point by APEF.
Matilda APEF Portugal. So thank you for the update. I'd like to say that we think you did a great job, but I have a question. Did you contact the previous reception committees to find out their opinion about to extend the pre-visits for summer university?
Nate?
No, I did not, because it was discussed on the AA, but then executive was talking about it, and I didn't get any conclusion from this. Of course, we've been approached by Gonzalo, chairperson of Last Summer University, but yeah, there are no outcomes about establishing a pre-visit for summer universities right now.
BPHC?
BPHSA Bulgaria. Peter, I just want to thank Nate for the help with the questions that we had. He answered every our question. He helped us a lot, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of the RC. Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? KMPSV?
Janine, KMP's for the Netherlands. This Congress was a lot of people on the waiting list. Is it something you have noticed for the other events from EPSA? And are you planning on, what is your opinion on making the events bigger? Do you think it's from next year or the year after that the events will get bigger?
Nate?
Okay, of course it's a great thing that we had, 600-700 people registering for this AC. But there is also logistical limitation. So we cannot find a venue that would have 600 people. Like what we have now, I think is optimal. Every country I believe has a hotel that can accommodate around 300 people, or at least 2 nearby. There is also educational program which has to be tailored to the number of participants, and having 100 or 200 participants more would just increase the workload on the educational program. You would have to find so much more workshops, so much more room. So right now it would be awesome, but logistically where we are now, I think it's quite okay.
Any other comments or questions? No? Leo?
Leonor EPSA Vice President of Internal Affairs. So, Nate, I really like to thank you for everything that you have been doing for Events Coordinator Portfolio. You did a really amazing job. I know that all reception committees are super happy with you. You were always super supportive, and I know that they can count on you as I can count on you. And yeah, really thank you for everything. You did a really amazing job, and it was a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Nate. Now we will go back a bit for the Vice President of Internal Affairs report. Leo?
Leonor, EPSA Vice President of Internal Affairs. Firstly, I'm sorry. I had to go because I needed to pick up an EPSA alumnus. So yeah, but I'm here. So, updates. So, since I submitted my report, I analyzed members fund applications. We have already almost agreed in my proposal for members fund. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to send you an email and I'm going to say who has received this fund. We also had NGT this last weekend. It was really nice. We didn't have many participants, but I know that for at least I think they really enjoyed, and the trainers also enjoyed as well. So I think that was good. Some LSs have changed in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so I have been in contact with them as well. We also had the next generation chats. Unfortunately, they were a bit late, but at the end we managed to have them, so that's also good. I also had a meeting for WHSS, the World Healthcare Student Symposium. I would like to let you know that the call for host organization will open on the 1st of May. And I can give you more information about this at the end of GA. More stuff. Oh, I also helped Diedrich with the membership fees. Like I was poking lots of members that haven't paid, and I was like forwarding this information to Diedrich. I also went to FFUL during one afternoon, and I was promoting EPSA Summer University and EPSA among our students. Yeah, and I was also working during the team meeting, like logistics and other stuff. So also regarding the alumni portfolio, because I have been working for the alumni portfolio, I started working again on the alumni platform, and I'm going to launch it during this weekend because we are having alumni weekend. So I was dealing with logistics for alumni weekend. Me and the reception committee have made the booklet. I also have been in communication between some alumni and the reception committee. And I was also collecting some inputs from alumni or alumni advisory board regarding some topics. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Questions or comments? Apef?
Marta Beck, Portugal. Leonor, thank you so much for your presentations and congratulations on your report. You state in your report that you pretend to collect information about the degrees representatives of which association in EPSA from an email thread. Do you have any plans to increase the number of responses?
Leo?
Can you repeat? I didn't really understand the question.
Okay, page 5 of your report in EPSA fact sheets. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so Leonor, EPSA Vice President of Internal Affairs. So basically, EPSA fact sheets is a project that we have. At the moment, it's under my portfolio, but to be honest, I don't really see the need to come up with topics and collect data from it. So I think it makes way more sense when I see an interesting email thread where you are discussing some stuff, and then I can collect information about it. I saw that you were discussing at the EduProf email thread an interesting subject. I know that not everyone replied to it, but if I decide to make an EPSA fact sheet, I will contact everyone and I'll try to gather as much as possible, like answers.
Any other comments or questions? Snaps?
Maria, Snap Sweden. So I just would like to stress that we are very happy with your work, Leo. You've been an amazing BPIA, always very available, always so approachable, so thank you.
Any more comments or questions? If not, Chuck?
Yep, Chuck, President. So, thank you, Leo, for everything. This Monday has been quite nice for you. You had a lot of surprises waiting every now and then. I think you handled it really well, especially the alumni coordinator matter is not something that any VP wants to have happen, but you did, and you stepped up and filled out the role of alumni coordinator as well. The events have been organized for alumni, amazing, like it's been done. So I really appreciate that you were able to step up and to invest even more effort to fill in also for that. Yeah, thank you very much for everything you did this time.
Leo?
So I'm sorry, I thought I was going to give you like an overview about LS reports after presenting my updates. So now I'm going to do it. I was supposed to do it before. Okay, so regarding LS reports, I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but yes, of course, I had to read them. So I have some comments regarding these LS reports. Unfortunately, we only received 35 reports from 45 member associations. That's like a minus point for you. Regarding some activities, I'm really happy with the amount of twinets that you are all organizing this year. It's amazing, like almost every member is organizing a twinet, so it's something that I really would like to stress out. Also, it's really nice to see how you are also engaging with advocacy at local level. And this shows that we are also doing a really great job spreading the advocacy work with you guys, and you are using the tools that we are giving to you so you can implement some stuff at local level. Also, the communication with the team, it seems really good. Like anyone complained on the report, you are satisfied with it. You feel that we are responsive, and you also feel that you have enough information. Also, it's super nice that I can see in some reports that you are having like inter-associations collaboration, and this is really cool. I would like to stress out the Baltic forum that you are going to do. Latvia, Estonians, Lithuania and Finland. It's super nice that you are organizing this event, and it would be very nice if you would invite us to go there. Also, lots of you are creating the monthly dose, and you are stressing this out at the LS reports, so that's also really good. However, some of the reports not cover the period between AA and AC, but they cover the whole year, and this report only covers the period between AA and AC. So please, guys, read the guidelines that Leonor has shared with you. There's guidelines to write the report, and there's also the report handbook. So if you have any questions, just go through these documents because they have all the information that you need. Also, some of you have missed some points on the report. Yeah, but that's it.
Does anyone want to comment or to ask anything about this? No? Leo, do you want to present the body project as well? Go.
Yeah, so regarding the buddy project, most of you have a platform established, like a communication platform established between your EPSA buddies, so that's nice. I also realized that some of you are not like in permanent contact with your buddies, but that's okay. Like the mean of the project is not to be like best friends, but for you to have this platform where you feel that it's okay to approach someone, and this platform is established, so that's also good. We also discussed buddy project during the team meeting, and I'm going to update the buddy project guidelines because we have some stuff there that doesn't really make sense and influence the project in one way that we don't believe it should be.
Any comments or questions? Yeah, okay. Then thank you, Leo. Yeah, we will now continue. Yeah, we didn't receive a report for the alumni coordinator. Leo?
Leonor, EPSA Vice President of Internal Affairs. So unfortunately, we didn't receive the alumni coordinator report. As it was informed to you, Mika, she had some personal issues some months ago, and within the executive, we decided that I would step up temporarily. Unfortunately, this situation wasn't temporarily, but I just kept doing what the alumni coordinator should have been doing. That's it.
CPSA?
Marin, CPSA, I'm just wondering, will Mika be able to provide a handover to her successor?
Leo?
I'm not really sure, but I believe she isn't.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, then we can take the report of the Parliamentary Council, for which I will pass the facilitation to Chert.
No, it's fine, I'll say here. Dear President, so I will ask the Parliamentary Council to present the annual Congress report.
Thank you, Chert. We will actually just present updates to our report as everyone else. So the last 3 weeks have been, of course, very busy for us. This is where PCs comes to its highest workload. So among others, we have been compiling the OD survival kit and having other kind of communications with you as ODs. We have prepared and delivered the GA online preparation, so the online GA preparation meeting. We have been preparing a lot of the documents that you can find in the GA package, as well as overseeing all of the regulation changes documents. We have been preparing the OD meeting, which we helped deliver together with the executive. And we also, of course, facilitated the 5th team meeting, and we are now here facilitating the General Assembly.
Thank you very much, Katja. I open the floor for questions, so does anyone have any questions to direct to the Parliamentary Council? No questions? No? No? Okay. If there are no questions, then yeah, I'd just like to say that it has been nice working with you guys. I think that, yeah, we had some hiccup in the GA yesterday, but I'm confident that that will smooth out and that we will have a really smooth GA and a really smooth election process. So yeah, just keep investing as much effort as you did in the past, and it will all be completely fine. Thank you very much for everything. So now we can vote on the motion. Chris, please.
Yeah.
The motion reads, the 55th EPSA General Assembly accepts the Parliamentary Council Annual Congress Report 2017-2018. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Close the floor for discussion on the motion and move to the voting procedure. Is there anyone against? Any abstentions? The Parliamentary Council Report 2017-18 has been accepted unanimously, and the motion passed unanimously as well. So we can clap again. And with that, I pass the facilitation back to PC.
Okay, we will end this GA session now, and we will continue starting with 5:30.
Yeah, maybe some short announcements. Chair President, before we take the roll call, when we started this GA session, we were 1 hour and 15 minutes behind. Now we are on time, so we cut off on 1 hour and 15 minutes of delays. But yeah, also, like, instead, if you have any questions or any comments to any of the team members' reports, please do approach them individually and in private. They invested a lot of work and a lot of effort into this mandate, so if you have anything to tell them, they will for sure appreciate it. But yeah, coffee break starts now. Please be back and seated at 17:30, 5:30, and then I would ask sit.
Sid and France, I just have a small technical about the nomination forms. You said in the beginning of the GA that we have 23 nominations, and we still have 24. So can you just maybe delete the one we are supposed to delete? Thank you.
Okay. We will just check quickly. And in that time, the scrutineer can start picking out the voting cards. please remain seated until the standing orders are suspended.